Hey, Mia, give me just 1 second. Go ahead, Mia. We are. Say again? Yeah, we are southbound on the 14, approaching, we're in Canyon Country. Okay. No, it's CHP. It's going to be an assault with a deadly weapon on an officer. Okay, just cue me. Copy. Copy, you're streaming. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us here in News Chopper 4. You're watching live images of a pursuit on the southbound 14 going through Canyon Country right now. This is a pursuit that we believe originated out of the Palmdale, Lancaster area. The vehicle in question, this red Jeep that you see right here in the middle of your screen right now, that has been going at least anywhere between 85 and 95 miles per hour, weaving in and out of traffic. The want, we understand, is a 245. That's an assault with a deadly weapon on a police officer. And as I pull slightly out of the shot here, you can see that white CHP vehicle as well as a black and white on this vehicle's heels right now. We're still continuing southbound on the 14. Standing by. Adrian, this is a pursuit, as you just mentioned, out of the Palmdale, Lancaster area, originated with LA County Sheriff Department. We believe now it's being taken over by CHP at the sheriff's request. The vehicle in question, this red Jeep, as you just described, the one is said to be a 245. That's an assault with a deadly weapon on a law enforcement officer. So far, all the way down the southbound 14, that's where we are right now in Canyon Country, coming through the Newhall area, Placerita Canyon. This vehicle's been going in excess of 85 to 95 miles per hour times 100 miles per hour. It has remained primarily on the 14 freeway as best as we can tell, and right now he'll have the option on the southbound 14 as he very quickly approaches the 5 freeway. Yeah, he's been on the shoulder, he's been in the center lanes, he's been in the carpool lane, wherever he can find an open space to get around. But you can just see how dangerously close he's coming to some of these vehicles as he weaves in and out of traffic, clearly wanting to elude law enforcement right now. I'll pull out of the shot here. There were at least at one time 2 or 3 patrol vehicles that were behind him, but from all indications now it looks like you got that white CHP vehicle as the secondary and this black and white as the primary as this pursuit continues. Well, because the CHP, that is that is the state's highway police, and this pursuit has remained primarily on the southbound 14 freeway. We did hear scanner traffic that there was going to be perhaps a spike strip attempt on the freeway. We don't know if they were able to execute that. But again, the CHP being the primary law enforcement agency for our state's highway, the sheriff wanted to turn this over to them. And really, that's a much better idea insofar as the fact that this is really a much safer pursuit on the freeway than it is on surface streets for obvious reasons. You've got, at this time of the hour, kids perhaps still getting to school and colleges and that sort of thing, people still commuting to those types of facilities. And so being on the freeway here is a much safer proposition than being on the surface streets, and CHP still on the heels of this pursuit vehicle. Yeah, I think there are some fluctuations in his speed right now, and I use that loosely. I should say that on the driver's speed, it keeps fluctuating in and out between 80 miles per hour, 90 miles per hour. We've seen 95 miles per hour before you guys came to us, but as I pull out of the shot here a little bit, you can see that traffic is moderate, and he's got a whole lot of real estate to work with here at this time of the day as he continues now on the 5 freeway, transitioning onto the 5 freeway southbound. We do not know, and you know, without speculating, it could have been anything. It seems like what is frequently seems to happen is as that individual is trying to escape, it uses that vehicle, the escape vehicle, to either try and run the deputy or enforcement officer out of the way, that sort of thing. So this could be the weapon of choice here, the vehicle that this individual is in. Now, we also understand that this is a rental. It's got Arizona plates, so this is not a vehicle that is local to this area. It is a rental vehicle, so this individual, and it's not clear how many individuals are inside this vehicle, is from here. Yeah, this is the HOV lane, now approaching, coming through the Silmar area right now, still southbound on the 5, trying to cut over now, trying to make a transition. It looks to the 405 freeway, and that's going to be north or south. I'll get that for you in just a second here, but transitioning onto the 405 freeway. Did you, we're northbound or? Yeah, we are on the northbound 405. That's the northbound 405, now going through the Granada Hills area. Oh, no doubt about it. I think it's a good thing that at least this individual, this driver now has slowed down a little bit. I mean, we've seen fluctuations now. Just a moment ago, he was down to like 60, 70 miles per hour, now picking back up speed. And I did say, I stand corrected. I said that we were on the northbound 405. We're actually on the southbound 405 now, approaching Devonshire in the Granada Hills area. It's not that heavy, and everybody who commutes on LA freeways this time of the morning knows it's a crapshoot in terms of what you might encounter. Now, as I look ahead, there is a little bit more moderate traffic that this driver is going to run into as he or she continues to progress down the 405 freeway, but by and large, still a whole lot of real estate to work with here, and has a number of different choices of exits to take, but it's unclear whether or not this driver is familiar with this area at all. Being that this is a rental with Arizona plates, this could be someone who's either from here or from out of state and is just traveling on the freeway trying to evade law enforcement. We did hear some scanner traffic that this driver ran over a deputy's foot. So as I had described to you a little bit earlier, Adrian, this might be a situation where it was a car stop. They tried to pull this individual over. Individual did not want to comply and sped off, apparently driving over this deputy's foot. Yep, this is going to be North Hills, still weaving through traffic, still threading the needle, so to speak. No indication whatsoever that this driver is going to try and pull off. Here we go, off ramp right here. This is Roscoe. Let's see what this driver does as they exit the 405 freeway at Roscoe, running into a little bit of traffic on the exit here, and going to have to make a choice here of what they can do because there's no shoulder for this individual. Oh, look at this. Oh, my goodness. Look at this. Almost sideways just to get around all that traffic. Unbelievable. And so now, look at this. Just ramming people out of the way. Now making, let's see, right back on the freeway. Right back on the freeway again. So we're continuing southbound on the 405 freeway from Roscoe. Yeah, roughly, and originated out of the Palmdale, Lancaster area. Don't know what the total circumstances are. Details are still pretty sketchy on that, but again, this all beginning from an encounter with LA County Sheriff Department out in the Palmdale, Lancaster area. This driver apparently driving over a deputy's foot. That's the traffic that we heard over the scanners, and clearly eluding law enforcement. CHP, the lead organization right now in this chase, and this individual, again, it's not clear whether or not they even really know where they're headed to. There was an attempt to get off, obviously to try and juke those officers, juke the CHP officers into perhaps getting off, trying to lose them, but no attempt whatsoever to take surface streets, and that is a good thing because CHP, being our state's law enforcement officers, this is where they do their best work, is on the highways, and so as they call ahead to adjacent CHP divisions, they can strategize and plan this thing out. And I'm going to pull out of the shot a little bit just to see how many patrol vehicles we still have remaining. It looks like I don't see anybody immediately. Perhaps this white, I see two patrol vehicles, and they are lagging somewhat behind. They're not as closely in pursuit or on the heels of this driver as they were before. Perhaps that a move to try and get this driver to slow down a little bit, and I think in some respects this driver has slowed down somewhat, but still at a pretty good clip. I'm reading 72 miles per hour, still southbound on the 405, approaching Burbank Boulevard. Ten minutes. 1-0, 10 minutes. Yeah, from what we can see, they have lagged quite a ways back behind, and LA County Sheriff Department it looks like they have the lead aircraft that is going to surveil this vehicle at this point, but CHP is still quite a ways back behind. Again, giving this driver a little bit more latitude to slow down to make this pursuit not so dangerous as it was before, and then surveilling from the air at this point. But a good thing that this driver has slowed down significantly from what we saw on the southbound 14 freeway, not weaving in and out of traffic quite as much as what we've seen, and but still being surveilled from the air. Yeah, absolutely. And as long as this driver is being surveilled by air and they don't lose this vehicle, it definitely presents CHP with an opportunity to re-strategize, back off the pursuit a little bit. You can see just how much slower this driver is going now. We're at about 60 miles per hour right now, and a much safer pursuit. Now picking up a little bit of speed, but a much safer pursuit to be surveilled from the air as they continue to follow this individual, and a couple of patrol vehicles not far behind at this point. We're still southbound on the 405, approaching the Encino area, and Valley Vista would be the next off-ramp coming up. Well, it's quite possible this driver may be just looking for a place to dump that vehicle and set out on foot. Again, from all indication, it doesn't really seem like there's a plan for this driver in terms of what this driver wants to do or is going to do. And we're running into a TFR, a flight restriction in this area. So we're going to be, I apologize for the shot here, we're going to be shooting from a little bit of distance here as this driver continues on southbound on the 405, approaching the Skirball area. Yeah, a lot of elements in play. Again, we haven't heard any reports of any near misses, any vehicle strikes, any crashes or anything like that. And from all indications, what we have seen, the vehicles was pretty intact. There was not much damage, and I apologize. There's a TFR, a temporary flight restriction that is in place. I believe the vice president is in town. And so we're not going to be able to go through that flight restriction. Perhaps we can try and pick this up at another point, but at this point, we're not going to be able to follow the pursuit. Yeah, they'll get clearance to continue to surveil. They'll be able to get through the flight restriction area, and they will continue to monitor, hoping that this driver, either attempts to dump the vehicle or they can perhaps contain the driver at some point, perhaps at a busy intersection of some type, deploy another spike strip if the situation allows for that. But there's going to be a myriad of different things that they're going to try as this vehicle continues on the freeway for CHP. Absolutely, and again, this began in the Lancaster-Palmdale area. The pursuit originated with LA County Sheriff Department at the request of LA County Sheriff. The pursuit was turned over to the CHP. They picked it right on up, and following it on through the valley. It's interesting as I consider why this individual would continue on at this point. Obviously driving over the deputy's foot and that sort of thing. He's trying to get away. I'm just really curious of what the original want or what perhaps the original car stop may have been to drive this individual to drive so dangerously on the highways and try and evade capture. Did I lose you? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I think I lost him. NOC News Chopper, we're going to get fuel. Standing by. Yeah, Adrian, at some point that subject exited at Wilshire Boulevard right off the 405 freeway, and you can see officers now, it appears they're taking this individual into custody. They've got him at gunpoint right now. I see a canine out there. It's very difficult to see. I apologize for that. There is a temporary flight restriction right now, and so we cannot get any closer. But it looks like deputies are going to be taking this individual into custody right now, and it looks like they're probably clearing the vehicle right now to make sure no one else is in there. But of course, this is a pursuit that we've been following all the way through from Lancaster, Palmdale area, all the way down the 14 freeway. It is a pursuit that has achieved speeds of well over 100 miles per hour. This individual was driving a red Jeep with Arizona plates. What we know is that at some point around the 10 o'clock hour, this individual was either stopped by Palmdale Lancaster Sheriff and some sort of exchange took place where this individual ran over that deputy's foot and eluded any sort of capture. He got onto the 14 freeway, came southbound at very high speeds, weaving in and out of traffic, narrowly, escaping, striking a few vehicles as he was weaving in and out of traffic. It came down to the 5 freeway, never really going onto surface streets. A couple of attempts at spike strips, but nonetheless, it all ending up right here on Wilshire Boulevard in the Encino area, right off the 405 freeway. It looks like this subject is now in custody. Very chaotic termination to a very fast and wild pursuit. Adrian?
To watch more heart-stopping car chases happening across Southern California, subscribe here